gentlemen, boys and girls, He Knows Ball here on January 20th. Soren in his alley, John in the island of Staten, and Cameron in the pit of misery after the divisional weekend. He Knows Ball's live. Cam, how we doing?
What's up, man? It's just, it's a normal Monday. It's a normal Monday. But it's January, dude. The Lions don't play football in January.
Yeah,
they don't play football. And I think that was pretty evident after this weekend. They don't play football in January.
Okay, well, we will get to that game a little bit more. Big divisional weekend in the NFL. 4 teams remaining going into next week. As well, tonight, the college football national champion will be crowned.
Can you believe it?
Will it be the Ohio State Buckeyes, or will it be John's Notre Dame Fighting Irish? JD, how are we feeling for tonight?
Oh, I'm feeling really, really good right now. Great wake up today, guys. I am ready. I wish this game was starting right now. I have that much juice in me. Go Irish. I really feel like we could do this.
Nice and suited up, I can see. Nice dressed all fancy.
For the occasion. Good day, man. It's a good day.
Good luck, buddy.
All right, let's start this off as we always do with a little bit of trivia. Does he know ball?
Does he know ball?
What a weekend.
Yeah, it was.
What a weekend.
It was very.
What question can I possibly ask you right now?
Oh, God.
What question can I possibly ask you to start off this wonderful Monday? It's 20 degrees outside. You know when I got into my car this morning? Ran out of wiper fluid. Couldn't even get the ice off my window. Had to use a credit card. Was standing outside my car, scraping it for hours. So, after a fantastic weekend, what better way to start it off than when was the last time Lions have won anything? And don't say the NFC North title. When was the last time they won anything? Anything. Was my dad a thought at that time? No. Were my grandparents even married at that time? Probably not. I know I wasn't a thought. When was it? Why be laughing? When was the last time they won anything? When was the last time they have won anything? Better yet, who's the man who cursed us? Who's the man who cursed us? Anyone? Any answers? John's thinking real hard about this one.
I can't see anyone, but I wish I could right now.
Cam, are you okay?
No, I'm not
I don't know
okay.
what to say.
I was kind of hoping we were going to skip this segment because I didn't even look up the date.
Dude, I see your lip quivering.
Oh, I'm fuel.
What did I say? I said we're all going to be just silent.
I saw this morning, Dan Campbell just said it's more fuel to the fire. This is straight gasoline at this point. This is gasoline. I'm only 21, too.
Bro, he's going to turn the same shade of his hair.
Probably.
He's already getting... Dude,
Oh,
you're
yeah,
already
yeah.
beat red.
Yeah.
Oh, John, this is bad. John, this is really bad.
I'm trying to smile.
Listen,
I'm trying to smile
John might be happy he's back home. I mean,
Yeah, John usually sits...
Yeah,
he usually sat next to him.
Oh man, yeah, I know.
Keep your
I
seat nice
can't
and
see
warm.
him though. I want to see his face.
I
want to see this.
just gonna be like slowly moving closer and closer to Corey. I'm getting scared. Why don't you tell us?
I don't know. I didn't look up the date. I think during the broadcast 1957. We'll just say 1957. We're guessing.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe 59. It was the 50s.
Okay. Yeah.
Is the Cold War even a thing at that time? Probably not.
there was a lot going on. There was probably a lot going on
Let's
in
look
the
at things that were
50s.
invented in 1959. Let's start off the episode. Let's do this. I was looking it up. I think GPS was one of them. Let's look.
Pretty nice.
The microchip.
Huge.
SS Savannah, the first nuclear-powered merchant ship. Philco Safari. Portabilized TV.
So you can watch the Lions on the portabilized TV.
The seatbelt. That's pretty good because I thought about wrapping my car around a tree this weekend.
Oh God.
All right. We're going to have a great day. We're going to have a
We
great
don't
day.
condone that. We don't
No,
condone
we do
that.
No,
not
we do not. We do not.
Wow.
Yeah.
The first segment that's ever left me speechless, I got to say.
So my best idea here is let's get this out of the way quickly.
No,
So
let's
we're-
talk about other games. Let's talk about the other games.
No. I think we just get it out of the way quickly.
Yeah, we can go out of order.
So that we can be happy for the rest of the day,
Okay, yeah.
or
Honestly,
at least attempt to be.
welcome to group therapy, everybody.
This is literally
Welcome to group therapy.
All right, so we'll start with the later game on Saturday between the wild card 6 seed Washington Commanders and the NFC North champion number 1 seed after a first round bye Detroit Lions.
Yep.
Cam, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, the floor's yours.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for this. I think the part that hurts about this the most is not that I expect the Lions to ever win anything, because all I've ever known is failure, unfortunately. I think the most annoying part about this is how likable Jaden Daniels is and how much I have so much respect for that entire team, that entire organization after going through everything that they have for the last 20 years. I think the worst thing about this entire situation is how sick of a dude Jaden Daniels is. But those first 5 minutes summed up exactly how this season went. You have David Montgomery coming off what? A partially torn PCL. You start him. The first 2 plays of the game, you have him running, which is fine. Let's see. Let's test the waters. And then we go 3 and out right away. Just complete blown up. Whatever. Not the first time we've blown up like that. The second snap on defense, Amik Robertson shatters his left arm. Let's add 19 guys to IR because he would have been number 19. 18 dudes on defense on IR this season alone. I genuinely just cannot believe it. Before we get more serious into this topic, let's try and lighten up the mood. Let's make this a little bit of a joke because I want to call out you guys. And I'm more or less disappointed in myself for allowing you guys to gaslight me over the last 9 weeks to believe that we could somehow make a playoff run with 18 guys on IR. I was saying it since week 11. This team was not ready to win a playoff game. This team was not going to win a playoff game. And everyone around me, you guys got Dan Campbell. You guys will be fine. You guys will be okay. You'll probably make it to the NFC Championship. Maybe you don't win the Super Bowl this year. You guys will be fine. Blew up. I knew the defense was going to lose us that game. I think anyone with a working brain could have saw that defense was completely banged up. And I don't want to use it as an excuse entirely because at the end of the day, you got to use what you have. But 30 guys started on defense alone for the Detroit Lions this season. 30 guys. I couldn't name half of them. And I said this in the group chat while the game was going on. It's getting to the point where when you have a bunch of NPCs on the field and not thankful. Thank you for the guys who actually stepped up, who wanted to continue to ball out and try to put their best foot forward. But 30 different starters on defense this season alone. I don't have all the time in the world to be continuing and try and look up all these guys' names. It took me a while to figure out who Pat O'Connor was. And I love Pat O'Connor. But just it's so frustrating having to see what a miserable season. It's been a fantastic run this season, going 15-2. But what a way to blow up. And honestly, I've seen a lot of discussion of whether or not the NFC Championship game or this game hurt more. Definitely this game. And I said at the beginning of this, losing to a guy like Jaden Daniels sucks because he's so likable. You can't hate on him. And then LiAngelo Ball starts off the game. I don't think I'm ever listening to Tweaker again. I don't think I ever could. But what a blow up on defense. And one play specifically I want to look at, you got 4th and 2, and you got 12 guys on the field. 12 guys on a field on a 4th and 2 in the red zone. A team that is all season who has finally turned it around after years of pain and have done it so well over the last 3 years. A team that has prided themselves on discipline and always having the next man up, did not get the next man up ready. And that's the worst part about this. And now this is where I'm going to take my next shot. JD.
Yep.
Aaron Glenn is more worried about the New York Jets than he ever was about this football game. The New York Jets. And I'm sorry, and I don't want to take shots at the New York Jets because you guys, if any team understands pain like the Detroit Lions fan base does, it's the New York Jets. But you made a man in Aaron Glenn completely unfocused and unprepared for arguably the biggest game in Lions football history. And he's more worried about taking an interview with the New York Jets. And then you have Ben Johnson, more worried about coaching AOC next year than getting his offense ready. That pass by Jamison Williams, I don't even think he was there at practice to watch that play. No way. No shot he was there at practice ready to watch that play. I think the only part of this game where I was genuinely smiling was watching Teddy Bridgewater come off the bench after Jared Goff gets completely blown up after throwing a pick six, because I love Teddy Bridgewater. That was sick to see him in a playoff game playing again. Too bad he couldn't have stayed out there. Too bad. And I don't want to take shots at Jared Goff because Goff does not deserve it, and I will die by him. Because honestly, I don't want to make the argument if he's the best quarterback in Lions history, because at that moment yesterday proved that the Rams won that trade. And it sucks. And just trying to avoid Twitter and everything all week, because all I've been seeing once I opened it up this morning is the window closed. And I want to hear from you guys on this one. Do you guys think the window's closed?
No, not even slightly.
No.
The window's just getting open.
Okay.
Hopefully,
I can agree.
Hopefully you don't have to feel this pain much more. Hopefully, after the pain this year, come next year, you're doing backflips in here.
Well, I think it was different because of their injuries. I felt
Yeah.
if they weren't so banged up, I think they
That's what it
definitely
and
would have had a
there's-
shot.
Look, there's flaws in the game for sure. When you turn the ball over 5 times in a game, you're bound to lose. You're not winning a game like that. But you think about it, and again, you can't look at it as, oh, if the team was perfectly healthy or the team's better on paper. But if Montgomery doesn't get banged up, even if like half the guys who are on IR for the defense aren't hurt, this isn't a game, Cameron. You know, deep down, you know, as hurt as you are, and you know that if the Lions are not the hospital team of the NFL, this game goes completely differently, and you're doing backflips with me and Soren. You know what I mean?
Probably. I don't know, man. That one hurt.
But the window's not closed. It's not even close to close. You guys are, if not going to run the North, because the Vikings had a good year. I don't think the Vikings are going to be around. Packers, curious to see where they go. Bears, well, they're the Bears. But you guys are going to be a playoff team for the foreseeable future. You guys would have to do something completely stupid this offseason for the team to not be within a Super Bowl window. This team is super talented, and you guys just got a bad draw. You caught a hot team. That's the toughest thing. When it comes to the postseason for any sport, it really dumbs down to who gets hot at the right time, and the Commanders are scorching hot right now. You can't, and again, you can't take away how much Jaden Daniels is as good as he is and how likable he is. He had a great game. The Commies had a great game. It sucks that it happened to be against you and your Lions, but the Lions will be back. The Lions will be back and better next year, if anything.
Yeah. I see you scooching away. And unfortunately, I don't want to say I don't see your vision because I can. But I'm kind of sick of getting run over. And honestly, looking at the schedule for next year, it ain't going to be much better. Because if you want to look at our schedule this year, it was a cakewalk. You want to be realistic? That was an easy schedule. That was a 15-2 schedule, no matter what. And I think it exposed a big problem, and a big problem especially with Aaron Glenn. This team, over the last 3 years, has never been able to stop a two-threat quarterback, a dual-threat quarterback. We played one true, maybe two true dual-threat quarterbacks this year, in Josh Allen and maybe Baker Mayfield, if you want to argue Baker Mayfield's also on that. We cannot contain a moving quarterback. We cannot contain a mobile quarterback. And then when we have to face the entire NFC East next year, we're screwed. We are screwed. We are flat out screwed. We're going to need some big moving parts. And I pray that whatever, maybe, like, I don't know, dude, like send Aiden Hutchinson to the same doctor that Rodgers had. Like, because I don't know. I don't see him coming back the same way. Like, you don't recover, like, from an injury like that the same way. The playoff dream was shattered the moment he shattered his leg. I think that's, like, the hardest part to grasp about all of this. But the fact that we did finish 15-2, but realistically, we only faced two quarterbacks who truly are mobile and can throw the ball like Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen. And unfortunately, we're going to have to face Jaden Daniels next year. I'm willing to put money on it right now that we're probably going to face Jaden Daniels week 1. I don't see a world where we don't. I mean, they set us up last year or this season with it, and they set up the previous year with us playing the Chiefs week 1. I don't know, man. I really don't know. This team has a huge problem, and I'm glad it's getting exposed now rather than next season if we end up going like 9-8 and just barely missing the playoffs because we can't stop that dual threat quarterback. I don't know.
Go 9-8.
That's definitely an overreaction.
A little bit, because I'm looking at their schedule, and yes, their schedule next season is significantly harder. But you think they're beating the Bears. The Bears aren't there yet. The Bears won't be there yet. They still have time. I still think, if not sweeping Minnesota and the Packers, you're at least taking one. The Steelers,
yeah, we know what's going to happen.
The Browns are taking that game. The Giants are taking that game.
Not if it's before week 11.
And look, there are going to be some competitive games. You got on the road. Your road schedule is significantly harder. The Rams, they love that Stafford versus Goff matchup. Chiefs is going to be brutal. But again, they proved a couple years ago.
Goff has never lost.
They've proved that they can go into Arrowhead. The Ravens is a tough game. Like these games aren't easy. They're not cakewalk games. But the adage "iron sharpens iron" might be true next year. Having these games where they're playing these better teams might benefit them in the long run. a lot of it comes down to this year's injuries, and really kind of not facing a ton of great competition. So maybe next year when you're playing a tougher schedule, it'll translate to something else, man.
I don't know, man.
Cam, I feel you, man. I want a couple of things though. Regarding like the Super Bowl window, I do think it's still open, but I think next year will be an adjustment because both coordinators will be gone. So I'm sure I'm sure on defense they can get a better coordinator, but still it's going to take time for those guys to get used to who's coaching them.
Dude,
it doesn't matter who it is.
Dude, if
That's
Aaron
the
Glenn,
thing. Like
if
you got to
Aaron-
be used to that.
If Aaron Glenn ends up going to the Jets, I better see Adam Sala in Honolulu Blue. That's the only man that I can see running this defense right now that could truly help us. Granted, I have not done a whole lot of digging because I've been gaslit all this year, and I'm trying to even gaslight myself that maybe we hold on to both of them. But after looking at everything this morning from press conferences regarding Dan Campbell, they're both gone. Ben Johnson's already admitted
that's what
to
I'm
the
saying.
team. Ben Johnson's already admitted to the locker room that he's gone.
Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking when you have a team like this that has gone through so much pain and misery, and it's just so obvious that both coordinators were completely checked out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like throw it on you, but like on the other side of the field, Kingsbury has declined every interview he said until they get eliminated. They could have easily done that. Teams would wait for them. I'm sure they would. Like that wouldn't even be a problem. So I understand what you're saying. But also, this like obviously when you get 15 wins in the season, they were set up perfectly to make the Super Bowl. You had 2 home games if you were to win this week. So I can understand why you're saying the window's getting maybe not totally closed, but it will close sooner than people expect because you never know when you can win 15 games again. That's it. Every year is different. You don't know who else. Maybe you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and you know what's really going to close? I know I probably shouldn't say this, but you know what's really going to close the window? You know what's really going to close this window? The fact that the Detroit Lions have already raised season ticket prices. Granted, like it's not even like I've lived in Detroit. It's not like I'm going to have season tickets. But the fact that they're once again raising season ticket prices, you have the most expensive divisional round in NFL history, and then you have fans, a big majority of fans, leaving with 7 minutes left in a 2-possession divisional game. When we've seen this team come back from adversity, we've watched Jared Goff throw 5 interceptions and still somehow win a game. And you have guys who can afford a $2,000, $4,000 ticket to sit in the lower bowl just to walk out on their team with 8 minutes left to go. A fan base, including myself, that has been unbelievably cocky. And like everyone deserves the flame on Twitter, and I deserve the flame on Twitter for this specifically being extremely cocky in this team. And I don't know how else I was supposed to react. I genuinely don't. I think if the Jets somehow went 15-2 next year, we probably would never hear the end of it. Section 215 on Instagram if that's the Instagram. 5 posts a day minimum. 5 posts a day minimum. Any NFL team. If the Bears did this, could you imagine if Cody Parkey made that field goal against the Eagles? You'd never hear the end of it. Yeah. They'd be talking about it for the next 4 years.
Oh, you're right. I mean, when your team don't have much success, that's all you can do because you feel so good about it. But I don't know. I think they'll be okay. You just gotta. As the days go on, you'll feel better. Trust me. Hopefully, maybe they'll go out there and get some sick offensive coordinator that is even better than Ben Johnson. Maybe they have someone there already that they can promote.
They're looking
I'm
into
sure
someone. It's his right hand man. I'm drawing a huge blank on his name. I don't know, dude. Oh man. I don't even know what to think. And like I didn't even mention this one yet, but 3rd and 1 on passing against the 30th best run defense in the league. 3rd and 1, you're passing the ball. Like you already know you're going for it on 4th and down. The Commanders were doing it all night. You know they're going for it on 4th down. Why pass the ball? Why? We've seen how it works out on 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, trying to pass the ball. We saw it last year in the NFC Championship with Josh Reynolds dropping the ball like that. Why?
Soren's favorite?
Yeah, Soren's favorite, Josh Reynolds.
Craig Reynolds, Josh Reynolds.
And then we're looking at this with $60 million in cap. Aiden Hutchinson is probably going to get a bag. Maybe we can talk him down a little bit after having such a traumatic injury. But you guys got like guys like Jameson Williams got to be re-signed. You got Soren's second favorite player, Craig Reynolds, needed to be re-signed. Pat O'Connor needs to be re-signed. Zadarius Smith needs to be re-signed. Anzalone said thank you to Detroit. So I don't know what that means. Maybe he's leaving. Who knows? Hopefully not. Aleem McNeil is still in crutches. I just don't know. I have no idea what universe, what god the Ford family pissed off this much to cause this much pain. I don't get it. And like, I thought like misery was at some point going to be done for the Detroit teams in general. Because I remember in 2008 when the Tigers got absolutely robbed going for the pennant. It's never going to end for the city. The saying still goes, and I'm not going to say it, but you can't have anything in Detroit. You can't. I don't get it. I don't know. Like, does my dad even love me? Like, why would you curse me with this? Like, and I'm only 21. Dude's been alive for 5 decades. Just straight pain. Like, the last time this team was successful, my grandfather was worried about the Cold War and the Russians. Like, the Cuban Missile Crisis was more important. And, like, they didn't care about the Lions winning because the Russians were going to blow them up. Like, it makes 0 sense who they pissed off. I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know what kind of voodoo magic the Chiefs have, what Andy Reid had. I don't know what kind of red 40 is in his burgers. Like, I don't even know, dude. And then you try and decompress at halftime. And then TikTok gets shut down right at halftime. Can't even decompress. I tried switching jerseys. I don't know. I tried to do every superstition that you could possibly do to maybe get some bounce back, gain some momentum. I don't know, dude. I feel like I'm going, my head's in circles. That sucked. But hey, Jaden Daniels is a cool guy. And he is. But honestly, at this point, I don't want anyone to win. I said this in the group chat earlier. I lost so much faith in America on Saturday night. I am the biggest Kansas City Chiefs fan in the world. I'll by the end of the week, I'll know Taylor Swift's entire discography. I'll watch the Kelsey podcast. I can't wait to see Travis smile every day. I can't wait. Patrick Mahomes, I cannot wait to see that dude smiling, lifting the Lombardi. It's going to bring a joy to my face. I hope Kendrick has an awesome time at the Super Bowl halftime show, and I hope Patrick Mahomes wins another MVP. I'm here to see history, and I want to see a three-peat now. So sorry for you guys.
The Lions just broke Cameron.
But God,
Wow.
Noah Gray is going to win that game. I don't know how. No. I don't know how. I know Pacheco didn't have a very good game, and I know a lot of people were particularly pretty angry about that one in my household. Pacheco doing horrible. But Noah Gray is going to be the guy. Maybe give him a Super Bowl MVP. I don't know. I just can't wait to see the Kansas City Chiefs lifting the Lombardi. Let's just make the whole NFL community angry. Let's find a way.
Are we good to move on?
I guess, dude. I guess. Because I'm just going to keep going in circles. I have no other way other than saying, like, I don't know. I don't want to attack Goff.
Do you want to take a quick little walk?
Do I? No.
If you want to.
Well,
please.
talking about the Chiefs might make them feel better.
Yeah,
It's
let's
certainly
go to
not going to
Kansas
make me
City.
feel better.
Let's go to Kansas City. Did not watch that game. I can't wait to find the final score of the Rams-Eagles game. Can't wait to find the final score of the Buffalo-Ravens game. Let's go, guys. Let's have a good day.
So, for Cam's new honorary team, the Kansas City Chiefs, by no surprise, picked up a victory against the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
The big issue for Houston was their inability to keep CJ Stroud upright. And that was apparent in this game because he got sacked 8 times. And another thing was penalties. And they got 8 penalties for 82 yards against them. So just undisciplined. I don't know what happened. A sophomore slump for Stroud. The line got worse. I know Diggs and Dell missed time. But this team was supposed to make a huge leap forward. And if anything, regressed. It's very interesting to see what Houston does next year. They play in a cakewalk division, which is nice.
Yeah.
Seriously, they could win 9 games every year and most likely win the division. But they need to make some adjustments. They're gonna have to draft and sign offensive line because it was
it was ugly.
It was brutal.
It was
and
ugly.
look, George Karlaftis, like props to him. He got after him a bunch of different times, had 3 sacks against him. And he played excellent. But it's just like when your quarterback's getting sacked 8 times, most of the time you don't win.
Yeah, there was a lot of regression. I mean, even with Mixon too. He started off good, then he kind of got cold, and then he heated up a little late in the year. I mean, he played well, but yeah, there was just a lot of surprises from this team. Like we thought they were going to be better.
It felt like a team that after last year and adding the pieces who they did add, it seemed like, well, they addressed the running back, getting a star running back. They paired a already good receiver room with a great receiver. It was like this was supposed to be a year where they were a true AFC threat, and I think even throughout the playoffs they didn't feel like that. Like the entire season, they were just like, wow. It's like, wow, the Texans look scary. It's just like they're there. So I'm curious to see where Houston goes after the year because it was not a good run.
No.
I mean, they had another playoff win, which is great. Young coach, young quarterback. So they're not. I don't want to say they're not getting worse because theoretically they are. This was supposed to be where they took a lead, but they kind of plateaued.
Yeah.
And for this early in what seems like a good future for Houston, you should not be plateauing.
Yeah.
So we definitely have to monitor how they do going forward. But yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs, to another AFC championship.
You know,
game.
it. You know what? It kind of pisses me off that they had just 212 yards, and I almost said Kansas City again, and the Texans had 336, and they still won.
Well,
they still won.
If you look, every team who had more yards in the game lost.
Still,
I don't know if that's the first time that's ever happened.
And some of those ref calls were atrocious. Some of those calls, like Jared Goff, like Cameron saying, got popped. If that was Mahomes, it might as well be a death sentence in Kansas City.
I was seeing another. There would be a whole insurrection. Congress would be opened up immediately. They'd look into it. They would immediately.
Oh my God. It's I was me and Soren were out. We were watching the game. I said, and I was having dinner. I said, I can't even look at this game. I had to turn away. I couldn't. I was looking at some of the other guys at the table. I said, guys, I can't watch this. And my brother was there, and he's like, bro, what is this game? I said, don't even tell me what's going on. I can't watch it. I can't.
Well, before we steer away too far from the lines, I do want to actually talk about that. What a hit! What a hit, dude.
Yeah.
If there was a time where like Jared Goff needed to be popped, like not like any quarterback needs to be popped like that, he got popped.
Yeah.
That was nuts, and it's kind of ironic that once again the NFL shows they don't truly care about concussion protocol because again Teddy Bridgewater should have definitely been playing the rest of that game. There's no world where that man didn't not get his bell rung.
Yeah.
He was definitely rocked. But I think it's kind of ironic that it's also the same dude that took Hurts out for the final 3 weeks. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good hit on him. I don't know. I mean, like you said, Mahomes definitely.
Frankie Louvu, baby.
It's gonna be a foul if that's Mahomes. But dude, I don't even think he really got his helmet that much. It was just
the two Texans players hit each other. They didn't even hit Mahomes. Yeah, but concussion. If you go into the rule book and you see concussion protocol in the small print, it says unless you're Patrick Mahomes, then we care about concussion protocol.
Mm-hmm.
So. That's what I have to say.
He probably don't even. He probably has a body double back there.
Josh Allen, please save us.
Yeah, I was about to say, Josh Allen, please save us.
Please save America.
Speaking of Josh Allen, great, honestly, a great AFC divisional game between the Bills and the Ravens. We could have seen overtime. Josh Allen could have gotten his retribution for the times that he's lost in OT. Fortunately for him, though, did not need to see overtime. Ravens scored the late touchdown to bring them within 2 points. A perfectly designed play. Mark Andrews with nobody in sight. Kind of looks like us playing football out there.
And then, minutes before that, fumbles, too many turnovers. I don't know what it is about the Ravens in the postseason. They just can't get it together.
Mark Andrews, Ravens fans hate you right now.
I think you just mean the AFC.
Well,
yeah.
I think everyone, even they don't even have to be playing the Chiefs. I think if the Chiefs are in the playoffs, it's the voodoo magic.
The Chiefs magic works on the opposite side of the brackets. I was looking leading up to this game. Whose legacy was this game more important for? Was it Allen or Jackson? And a lot of people were saying Jackson.
I agree.
Which I agree to an extent.
I think okay.
But he's going for he has 2 MVP awards and most likely he's going to bring in his 3rd by the end of the season. Allen has nothing to show for his success in the NFL.
That's why I feel like the person who had more pressure for this game in particular was definitely Lamar Jackson.
100%.
Because like
Yeah.
I think if the Bills lose that game, I think everyone like that's a Buffalo fan kind of chalks it up. It's like, oh, it's the Bills. They're not going to blame.
It's just another
Josh Allen.
But also,
divisional
like,
loss.
the roster,
Yeah.
the roster has not been constructed to be a true Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
This Ravens team,
Yeah,
top
it
to
is.
bottom, is excellent. You bring in a guy like Derrick Henry to bolster up a running back room that had already had success with Gus Edwards. You know, like guys
Yeah.
who really shouldn't be these great rushers. Isaiah Likely kind of has a breakout a little bit. Bateman,
Even Justice Hill
that's what I'm
to a
saying, like,
degree
they
too.
their defense is there's so many things that pointed in the direction that the Ravens are a better team, and Buffalo found a way to win, and that's all that matters. If you find ways to win,
Yeah.
that's all that matters at the end of the
I don't know why they didn't give it to Henry on that 2-point conversion. I still don't.
Well, again, it's not that the play was it was a broken play.
Yeah,
and
no,
Lamar had to- it's Mark Henry has to do something that he's done 1,000 times
Yeah.
in his football career. With literally no.
No, I agree.
He has to slide down and just pin it against his chest, and he doesn't. Sure, you could have given it to Henry,
Yeah.
and I think Henry punches it in. I'm not saying that's not the case.
Yeah.
That play was perfectly executed.
It's
Perfectly.
just- it's
99% completion rate.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
You run
think
that play 100 times, 95 times he's catching.
Yeah.
I saw arguments maybe it should have been Likely running that route, but that's Mark Andrews' bread and butter.
Yeah.
Like that's how he's made a living in this league.
Yeah.
That's how he's
Yeah.
continued to strive and had such a successful career for so long.
Yeah.
It just sucks that
It's a play where obviously that entire franchise went back because once you get to OT, you never know what happens.
Yep.
But it is definitely interesting to see how Baltimore is gonna go moving forward,
Mhm.
because the roster's constructed very well. I think there's not many moves that they have to make. I think realistically, just bolstering the secondary because that was their thing. They got torched through the air, so. It's probably better that Buffalo is facing Kansas City because I think Buffalo is not much better prepared, but more prepared to face Kansas City than Baltimore.
Yeah. They can beat them. They just got to pretend it's not the postseason.
It's year 4, man. They did
gotta-
earlier this season. They're the only team to beat a full roster.
Yeah.
Not a non-Carson Wentz led.
That game
Kansas
had me
Chiefs.
going. When he had that touchdown on 4th down, I felt like the Steelers won the Super Bowl. It was
Yeah.
just
So
It's a
look,
good day.
we're getting the 4th edition of Mahomes versus Allen in the postseason.
I think there needs to be a study though done on drunk ESPN analytics and going shirtless at Buffalo games and how that
How that truly affects
it relays to the outcome of games. You know, seeing Fitzpatrick go shirtless like that, I mean, that would have had me running through a brick wall.
Yeah. I wouldn't fire it up. Hopefully he travels to Arrowhead and does the same thing. That would get me fired up.
Is ESPN covering that game?
Probably not.
probably Jim.
That's probably.
Because I think it's at 6. I think
It's gonna
it's
make
a
that
6.
game even worse,
Yep.
dude.
The glazing.
All right. Let's move to the last game of divisional weekend. Fortunately, I'm the only. Me and Sir are the only two smiling in here. The Eagles find a way to beat the Rams. Not the prettiest, but Mr. Barkley doing what he does best and running all over the field. I didn't realize. Obviously, it was snowing up here, but I didn't realize how bad the snow was gonna get in Philadelphia. I saw some flurries, and I'm like, all right, like it's coming down, but it's not that bad. The fact that they had to use graphics on the broadcast to show
the
the
dark and
numbers
the-
that was insane to me. Big shout out to the Rams, dude. The Rams were excellent this year. They battled injuries nonstop. And realistically, about mid-season, they were about a 500 team, give or take. The West looked very much up for grabs, and they reeled it in, man. And that's why McVay is one of the best coaches in the NFL. I am very curious on where this Rams team goes from here because Stafford is getting older. I mean, he scrambled one time in the game, and you could see that he was hurt. You could tell he was not 100% after that.
It already came out this morning that when he was discussing with the press, he's taking time to think about the future. So.
Yeah, so
Don't know what that means.
It is very interesting to see what the Rams do.
I heard Jets love quarterbacks who have shown promise in their careers.
I would take Stafford any day. I love him. He gets injured, but
good locker room
he can
guy.
play.
Good locker room guy.
They would light it up. He would light it up with this offense.
When was
too,
the last
I'm
time he
sure.
was truly injured, though? I'm trying to think. When was the last time Stafford was
2 years. It was the year after they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So
he
2
did.
years
Oh,
ago.
that's
He only
right.
played like
Yeah,
5 games.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, this team, I mean, their core 3 of skill players of Williams, Puka, and Cup. Like that is still going to be a core that. Dude, also big shout out Tyler Higbee, man. I mean, after in the first round, he's spitting up blood. And he balls out again in the divisional round too. So big shouts to Higbee. This Rams team. I hate Jared Verse. That's the first thing.
I knew you were going to bring him up.
He's such a prick, which pisses me off because he had such a good season, and I was starting to rally around him, and now he talks crap on Philly, and it's like I can't. But no, like this Rams team, I wouldn't say over or exceeded expectations, but I mean the future looks a lot brighter than I thought it would be. Even if Stafford does decide to retire or ends up leaving, whatever the scenario is. I think even after 1 year of getting a quarterback to come in, hell, maybe they're the team that brings in Sam Darnold. I don't know what the case scenario is, but I don't think the Rams are going away anytime soon. I think their core is very good, and they're going to be a team in the NFC that can.
Again, just like and just like the Lions, I think if they do something completely stupid to derail what they got going, but I like their roster.
Big shout out to the defense though, man, for the Eagles. Because they're the reason they won that game. Coming up with big stops, a couple of big turnovers. I love to see Jalen Carter being an absolute game wrecker.
Yeah, wait till the Lions realize that sacks win games.
Well, here's the thing, not necessarily. Dude, Eagles got sacked 7 times.
I don't think we got a sack in the last 3.
But I do. They brought up during the broadcast how the Rams had, I think. At that point, it was
16 sacks.
It was 16 sacks across 2 games, which is almost like if they had played one more game, they would have set the record. After being like one of the worst teams at recording sacks during the regular season.
Yeah.
So the defense stepped up huge, but so did Phillies, man. They got after it. And it was the same way in the regular season. What kind of turned the tide was forcing a turnover, and that's exactly what happened. Jalen Carter punches it out. Couple of possessions later, Zach Bond getting on top of one, they're doing what they need to do. So I'm not complaining. I'm so fired up. One win away from the Super Bowl. I'm nervous for sure. That game had my heart rate through the freaking roof.
And next week will be a good game. I'm excited.
I mean, it's the rubber. It's a rubber match of the best 2 teams in the NFC East. Dallas isn't going to be close. I don't think Dallas is going to be close anytime soon. The Giants are rebuilding. This is going to tell if the streak's going to live or the streak's going to die of most consecutive NFC East title, or if there's going to be consecutive NFC East titles.
Well, at least Dallas has something in number 1 in now, and it's last. And it was an NFC Championship appearance, I think.
Probably.
So, congrats, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry and his bunch of losers. Anyway, and a big shout to
you love Jerry.
No. Big shout to the Birds. One more. Come on. Just one more. And then after that, we'll lose to Mahomes. All right. As we're nearing 12 o'clock, we're adding a new segment this week, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the HKB Monday Parlay, the first of its kind. Before we get into it, though, we recognize that gambling is a big issue. So please gamble responsibly. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Must be 21.
Must be 21 or older to play. That's why Mr. Biggs and Mr.
if your state
Downey.
allows it.
And if your state allows it. Good point.
This is not financial advice. This is just something that we've looked at for stat-wise.
Yeah. But this is why Mr. Biggs and Downey will abstain. Obviously not of the age of 21. But as the rest of us are, we are going to kick off the first ever HKB Monday Parlay. Corey, what is your pick for the week?
Give me the Mavs money line. Now, I know the Mavs have lost their last 5 road games. They're 4-8 still without Luka. The Hornets have just been really bad this year, and I think the Mavs are just, they got weapons with Clay, Kyrie. I think something will give. I think the Mavs get the win. I get the Mavs money line.
You don't think Charlotte swerves by that corner? Oh. All right. My pick for the week, much to John's chagrin, it is Ice Trey going into Madison Square Garden and doing what he does best, pissing off the Knicks fans. I got him for 25 or more points this evening. Cameron?
Yeah, so this week I'm going along with the Hawks-Knicks game. Give me Jalen Brunson for over 8 assists. They've only played the Hawks one time this year so far in December. He recorded exactly 8 assists in that game. Last couple of games, been a little bit shaky, still moving the ball, still highly efficient. This wasn't my original pick, as we know, but unfortunately, it just was not available. I wanted to take Cameron Payne for over 10 points because he's been extremely efficient off the bench. But in his last couple of games, he did get 11 assists. He's been kind of struggling, been around that 6 to 8 mark. So give me Jalen Brunson for 8 assists.
Nice tonight. It should be a high-scoring affair. Should be a good one. Soren, wrap us up. What do we got for your pick to wrap up the HKB Monday parlay?
So like I said, my pick is, like I said, I didn't go with the NBA in my aspect. I think the NHL is a pretty interesting, actually, because it is almost getting up to the time where matches are really going to matter in the NHL. And I'm going to take the Columbus Blue Jackets over the New York Islanders. And I think that this Columbus Blue Jackets team, I know they kind of struggled last year based on, trying to rebuild their team, but I have some faith that they're going to win this game, man. They've been a really sneaky team so far in this NHL season, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Columbus Blue Jackets actually get the win.
All right, so the 4-leg parlay, the debut HKB Monday parlay, Dallas Mavericks money line, Columbus Blue Jackets money line, Trae Young for 25 or more points, and Jalen Brunson for 8+ assists. Odds may vary on the different sports books. Again, be safe with gambling. Make sure it is legal in your state. Make sure you're of the age of 21 or older. And if you have a problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER, as we realize gambling is a big issue. But have fun with it. I think we're gonna win some money tonight, boys. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling financially savvy tonight.
I'm glad you're feeling great, man. Maybe this makes my week. Maybe
this is the Cameron. This is the turning point, man.
This is the turning point. Okay.
Maybe, probably not. Anyway,
Start focusing on NBA, right? Like,
all right.
I heard the Pistons had a really good Saturday night too. Same with the Red Wings. Awesome.
Okay, it's okay. All right. Before we move completely away from football, tonight is the national championship. We mentioned earlier Ohio State versus Notre Dame. And before this great collegiate football season, the first of the 12-team bracket draws to a close, I want to kind of go in review of the season that was college football. I mean, there was a bunch of different storylines. I think the first one that caught a lot of people by surprise was how Florida State, after a year where they were so upset that they didn't make the college football playoffs, they had one of the worst seasons we have ever seen after a team who just missed the college football playoffs.
Maybe worst one in Seminole history, too.
It has to be. Even if it's not record-wise their worst season, coming off of a year where they were supposed to be a college football playoff team and were so upset that they didn't make it, you bring in all these transfers, and then it was disgusting. Yeah. It was disgustingly bad.
I mean, good for Florida State. In 1973, they went 0-11, so it wasn't their worst season, still like on record. But
you go
it was pretty bad.
You go 2-10, and look, if you look at some of the teams that they lost to, you look at Georgia Tech, who was a surprising team this year. They were pretty solid. They lost to SMU, who was in the playoffs. They lost to Clemson, who was in the playoffs. They lost to Miami, who just missed the playoffs. They lost to Notre Dame, who's in the national championship.
Oh,
so their schedule is, it was a bad one. It was a really bad
John
loss.
liked that game.
It was a really bad loss to Notre Dame.
Oh, I loved every second of it.
But still, there was definitely parts of the schedule that were tough, but not 2-10 tough. DJU was supposed to be the guy. His final. I think it was supposed to be his final season of college football. I don't know. Apparently, he's declaring for the draft. After his excellent season of getting benched midway.
Well, like I said, DJ, you need to get a job. That's what it is.
Yeah, DJ,
that's what it is.
Get a job. Go get it.
It's sad that they barely beat Cal, and then their big win was against good old Charleston Southern.
Probably homecoming or something like
And they're 1-11. They fell to 1-11 in that game, Charleston Southern.
that.
So
Poor Charleston Southern. Another big storyline after kind of I don't say a bad first year, but it was record-wise, it was a bad first year in Colorado. Coach Prime and the Buffs, man, the boys out in Boulder, and that's what happens when you have 2 top 5 projected picks in Shedeur and Travis Hunter. Hunter ended up winning the Heisman. But golly, man, dude, Colorado. Last year, it was the name value of like, oh, we want to watch Coach Prime. This year, I wanted to watch this Colorado team. They were so freaking exciting, man. After the Nebraska game, it was kind of like, oh, where do they go? And then they balled out the rest of the year. And the rest of they lost to K-State, and it was a great game. They beat Texas Tech. They beat Utah. They beat the crap out of some of these teams. They suffered that late loss to Kansas, which derailed their playoff hopes. But, I mean, this freaking team, man, probably won't be as good. There's rumors about Shedeur and Travis obviously going to the draft. There's rumors about Coach Prime potentially taking a coaching job down in Dallas. Hopefully this isn't a one-off season. Hopefully Coach Prime stays there and Colorado continues to have success. But, man, this team was so exciting to watch. Even if you're not a Colorado fan, this was such a team to watch this year.
No, I'm a big fan of Coach Prime potentially taking that job in Dallas. Hopefully drafting his own son. Would love to see what kind of damage that does to the locker room down in Dallas. Could you imagine, I don't know if that's ever been done before. Like,
no,
a coach
that's straight nepotism.
Drafts his son. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that would cause a lot of hurt and pain inside that Dallas Cowboys locker room. So I'm all for it.
And it's just not what they need.
Yeah, I know. I'm all for Coach Prime going down to Dallas. I feel like Jerry Jones is the kind of guy that would end up drafting a former player of his, which is awesome. Former player getting picked up, similar to Aaron Glenn being focused on the Jets job. But that would be sick, watching that derail the locker room. I hope he goes to the Jets. If he's going to rescue anywhere, I hope he goes to the Jets. That's enough of that.
All right, next storyline that we have, it's the one flaw on this Irish team's season. The NIU Huskies upset against Notre Dame. And, I mean, the kicker never got back to me for Jake's Christmas gift. I'm still upset about that. But, I mean, the only game where the Irish looked bad this year. It's going to be, when we look back at this season, if Notre Dame wins tonight, we look back at the season 10 years from now, we're like, damn, how good was that 2024, 2025 Irish team? And then we just see the one lone loss was to, of all teams, NIU. One of the biggest upsets in college football history. But we move on from that, John, because they're in the national championship and NIU isn't.
I do want to focus on something, though.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. No, JD.
Yeah, go ahead, Cam.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
John, go.
No, Cam, go.
Okay. Yeah. He's going to have a lot more input on this, and I kind of want to hear his opinion on this. But Thomas Hammock, head coach of NIU, he better get his own trophy. And if Notre Dame wins tonight, he better get his own trophy. I know after the game, him and Marcus Freeman did sit down, and they had a conversation about everything that went wrong on the Notre Dame side and what he did to expose those weaknesses. And the fact that Notre Dame was able to take that advice and just absolutely run with it so far at the end of the season. Because I remember when that game happened, JD thought the playoff hopes were done. Because realistically, they should have been. Realistically, I mean, they were able to close it out, but they were able to take that advice and just absolutely run with it. And Notre Dame deserves the position that they're going to be in. But that's a guy that we should probably. The NIU's head coach is definitely a name in college football that we're not going to. He's not done. We're gonna see him again. Hopefully, he gets picked up by a better program, even if he wants to stay and develop NIU. But that's a name we definitely need to keep an eye out these next coming years because he easily could become a big name, big head coach somewhere.
Yeah, Cam, I totally agree with you. One thing I got to say is sometimes for teams to get to the top, they got to fail first, which we've seen with a lot of teams. So I think this is a really, really good wake-up call, and they haven't forgotten that loss either. You can tell the way they've just been playing. They weren't just beating teams either, especially even in the playoffs. I know the last game against Penn State was very, very close, but the two before that was an absolute beatdown of two pretty good teams, and they did that the rest of the regular season. So I mean, this could be one of those years, like Vinny was saying. You look back on it, that could be an historic loss that turned this program into like a championship caliber team every year from now on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. JD, sticking with I don't remember if he was one of your guys at one point, but I know you hopped on the Linsanity run of Dylan Raiola, also known as Patrick Mahomes' body double down in Nebraska. I mean, dude, his first 4 weeks, you just look at it, he balled out, and then after kind of the hype, like people started hopping on the bandwagon, he sucked. He was bad he was really bad the rest of the year. I mean, he had 8 touchdowns. I think my math. Yeah, 8 touchdowns in the first 4 games of the season and finished the year with 13.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the game log right now. Yeah,
Raiola
man.
was.
Yeah, I'm still on the board though. I like him a lot.
You saw you saw the talent. He has the build of a good quarterback. It was ugly after the first 3 weeks. Once it gets cold in Nebraska, it's hard to grip that football, and I think it kind of evident. But yeah, that Linsanity run at the beginning of the year where word for word, bar for bar, he was Patrick Mahomes in college football.
You couldn't escape him everywhere you went, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, good for him, bro. Especially with the NIL era of college football. I know he got his bag, even if he can't make it into the league.
I'm surprised
he
that
got his money.
I'm surprised that State Farm didn't have him do a commercial with
Patrick Mahomes.
I'm
yeah.
so surprised.
Another fumble
It's not over
rooski.
yet.
Fumble Rooski.
God, I hate that commercial so much.
The next big storyline, Alabama, man. You know, they started the year 3-0, went into that arguably the biggest game of the season, them versus Georgia. And what was it? An excellent game. They beat out Georgia. And then the next week they lose to Vanderbilt.
Oh my God.
Like, golly, man. This Alabama team, you know, people argue that they should be in the playoffs, and even after the first round, seeing how bad SMU played, there's definitely a reason. They lost to Vandy. They lost to Tennessee, which was a tough game. I'll give them that.
They also lost to
Yeah, my good old Oklahoma
Boomers
Sooners with Jackson Arnold, who is packing his bags for Auburn at this point, and less than 100 pass yards. Like, this Bama team, man.
Yeah, I think their season in a nutshell was that game against Michigan. I think it just proved to everyone, they should be in the playoff, and then they lose to Michigan.
It's just the mountains and valleys, the mountains and valleys of this team. Man.
Yeah,
like they beat Georgia, they beat Missouri, they beat LSU, all ranked teams, and then they lose to Vandy and Oklahoma during the regular season. And the bowl game, it was pouring rain. It was a mess. Michigan
Playing in Tampa. Come on.
it was still pouring rain.
Figure it out.
Sure.
You know, coach has always got the giant bucket of ice water. Dip your hands in the water. You know what the weather's going to be that week.
But yeah, there's just the ends of the spectrum with this Alabama team was wild. I want to talk about Boise State, man. Obviously, it was the Ashton Genty show.
Moigoy Hall of Famer. Instant. It was like instant. It felt like.
But like,
All deserved.
just look through this team schedule. Their only regular season loss was by 3 points to the Oregon Ducks, who were the best team in football during the regular season. But yeah, man, this Boise State team will go down in history. With Genty leaving, it's not going to be like that ever again. But in recent years, Boise State has been significantly better. I will say that. Since coming to the FBS, they've been excellent. They're going to regress. But hopefully we get to see another good run from Boise State. I'd love to see them back in the playoffs. I want to see them host a playoff game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see them.
That blue
The blue
field,
field,
yeah.
man. One of my favorite storylines from this season. We did a video. I don't think we ever ended up putting it anywhere.
Yeah.
Was
It's in the vault.
when Kenny Dillingham, in about mid-season, when his kickers are missing left and right, we're having open kicking tryouts. And when the media asked him, "Are you serious?" He's like, "I'm dead serious. If you want to kick for this team, send me an email and we'll have a tryout." We all failed miserably, besides Cameron and Jack. Our kicking champions. Maybe you should give Dillingham a call.
Maybe, dude. I don't know. I think looking back at it, definitely a very questionable decision by the head coach, willingly calling out your kicker like that and mobilizing your entire all the frats at Arizona State to get all their pledges outside to work on kicking. But did it really work out in their favor?
I mean,
I guess they made
I mean,
the playoff.
they made the playoffs.
They made
man,
the
as
playoff.
top
They
14,
lost
yeah.
in the playoff, but they made the playoff.
They must be making kicks then. I mean,
Yeah.
Did they?
Not,
guess.
a little bit.
I mean, they
Yeah.
made PATs, I guess. And then the last little bit of storyline is Texas A&M, man. Just the way they collapsed at the end. They lose the first game to Notre Dame, and then from there they run wild. You know what I mean? They beat Missouri, they beat LSU, they beat these tough teams, and then they have a really tough loss at South Carolina. So all right, you're at 2 losses. You do need to win out, but maybe you can rattle off. And you beat New Mexico State in a non-conference game. Don't know why. I don't understand the late season non-conference games. They're so stupid to me. They're not helping you at all. Tune-up games are for the beginning of the year. Schedule it then. And then at Auburn, they play in a shootout and they lose. And then they lose to Texas. So what seemed like after the first loss of the year, A&M would make a SEC championship run, probably a college football playoff championship run. Just they fell flat on their face, man. Just what a shame. This Aggie team will be back though. There's a reason to look at SEC. Maybe get on Manziel on the coaching staff. Darties before every game. But there is this note here. Was this the most competitive college football season that we've seen, at least in recent memory?
Absolutely.
I think so.
There's no debate to it. I mean, looking at it, no team finished undefeated, correct? Or Oregon did.
Oregon during the regular season, yes.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think the 12-man college football, there's been a lot of hate and there's been a lot of controversies regarding the first round bye and not a single team winning at all, or going to the final with that, having that first round bye. I think that needs to be slightly reworked. I think it's a little bit unfair to do all that work in the regular season, earn that first round bye, and then you don't get a home playoff game. You lose some of
That's
that
the
momentum
big thing.
because there's such a. It's not the NFL. There is such a huge gap between when the end of the college football season ends and then the playoff starts. I think maybe if you move the playoff up, give teams that they can still ride that momentum a little bit, and then make that first round bye actually worth getting. Because is it really worth getting if you're already getting those 2 weeks off? Because then you're pushing everything back, and then you're having to prepare those first 2 weeks to 2 teams that you could potentially face off.
Right.
And then you're stuck in this weird spot, and then you have to travel and go through all that stuff. You're staying all over.
There
winter
needs
break.
to be they need to incentivize the buy more because
Yeah.
This year was weird with Arizona State, a team who was picked to be dead last in Big 12, winning. A team like Boise State with their only loss coming to Oregon, and then they projected that Group of 5 team to be that 12 seed. But still, and obviously Georgia with Carson Beck being hurt. So we talked about it last week about, was this kind of an outlier year? We'll have to see next year. Because if next year we see, Alabama goes 12-0 and wins the SEC, Oregon goes 12-0 and wins the Big 12 or Big 10. Clemson goes 12-0. All these top teams get it, and then it happens again. Then there's going to be changes that need to be addressed. But this year it was weird with the teams who were there. But I think there does need to be a change. The home field advantage should be a thing. You have to have your bowls, and that's fine. Make them the first round games, and then the second round, have a game at Boise State. God, that would have been so awesome. That would have been so cool, dude. We're never going to get a chance to see that again. That would have been so cool. Golly.
But I think also looking back at it, I think we're so far into these, if you want to call it an NIL experiment, because it truly has been an experiment. Just with all these players now earning money, do you think that had a direct correlation between team success and how much money a franchise can put out?
1,000%.
Yeah, 100%. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. If you're able to put out money, you're gonna have.
Oh yeah.
But it also it seems like I agree with you guys that if you're able to put out that money, that you would be able to have success. But then you have teams like Alabama, historically successful, has all of this money. Granted, maybe just some growing pains. I know there's a lot of work needed to be done around the quarterback room. They no longer have a quarterback room of 2 Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, all these NFL quarterbacks, great quarterbacks.
But NFL starting caliber quarterbacks.
Yes.
Sort of, kind of, not really. But I think Shane Gillis when he was talking to Alabama Jones. Even though NIL wasn't a thing, back when Saban was the coach and like when he was the coach for the most part, maybe his last year or two there, NIL started becoming prominent. But let's be honest, they paid players.
Yeah.
So while Alabama is one of the top paying teams, it's not new for them. It is a different era with. It'd be different if Saban was there. That one, the season wouldn't have gone that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
I wouldn't be shocked if we see some controversy. They're going to start in like the college football locker room. They're going to start having like rookie dinners.
Yeah, bro.
That's how NIL is going to get shut down. They're going to start having rookie dinners.
Freshman
they're gonna make,
dinners.
Yeah, they're going to make these freshmen buy like $40,000 dinners, and then NIL is going to go out the window.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. I think it's time for the great old Moi Goy of the week.
Wait, is that your goy?
No, I thought that was your goy.
No, that's
Moi Goy of the week.
Corey, please rip the Band-Aid.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, Kim. Plug your
There's
ears.
no reason to say sorry for this. I wasn't even mad when you said it. I mean, looking at this week, who else deserved it? Who else deserved it more?
It's Jaden Daniels, obviously. The rookie, like we were saying, he balled out in an upset victory over the Lions, 45-31. 22 of 31, 350 total yards, 2 touchdowns. Kami's heading to the NFC Championship for the first time since 91. And in just 2 playoff games, almost 700 total yards, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. And like we've all been saying, I know Rookie of the Year is a regular season award, but if it was, if the playoffs were a part of it, I mean, he's just solidified that. Definitely 1,000%.
He's been excellent, man.
You hear that, parents? You hear that? You want your kid to go into the NFL. You want them to be successful. Maybe their birthday's coming up. Christmas is not that far away if we're looking at it right now. Buy your kid a VR headset. Anyone has proved that VR is important. Jaden Daniels showed us yesterday on Saturday. Buy your kid a VR headset. He said it himself.
He knows ball tries VR. Is that the next thing we do?
I guess, dude. I think that's the most nuts thing because I kept seeing that a lot over the last couple of days. It's like one of the conditions that if you were going to draft Jaden Daniels, he's like, you have to buy me a MetaQuest 3. And so I can play the football VR game at 2 times the speed so I can just absolutely dog on everyone in the playoffs. Buy your kid a VR headset. If you want to retire early, you want your kid to go play in the NFL, buy him a VR headset right now.
All right. John, who is your goy of the week?
Yeah, I was really hoping Derrick Henry and the Ravens won last night because I told you guys I would pick him again and every week for the whole playoffs, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. And I had to pick Travis Kelce, who I cannot stand as a person, but he's a terrific player. 117 yards and 7 catches on Saturday and a touchdown against the Texans. I mean, it's one of those things. Everyone's always like, oh, Travis Kelce down year, just goes out there in the playoffs and just balls out. I don't know what it is. But he can have whatever happens in the regular season, playoffs, different story. And once again, the Chiefs are in the AFC Championship, and he's a big reason for it.
Yeah, he definitely is. I feel like that's been the common thing with him, at least the last 2 years. Last year, it was Travis Kelce losing it, and then once the playoffs come around, he remembers how to play football. And again, it matters about who's getting hot at the right time, and if Travis is hot, this Chiefs team's going to win. My guy of the week, a little bit of a homer pick, and he's already in the Hall of Fame, but why not make it a 3-time Moi Goy pick? Saquon Barkley, an excellent, and one more time, excellent game in the divisional round against the Los Angeles Rams. Has been excellent this entire postseason, man. Had a great game against Green Bay in the first round. Great against the Rams. Dogged the Rams the entire year. During the regular season, had 302 scrimmage yards and 2 touchdowns. Yards were a little bit lower than that regular season matchup, but they showed the graphic. His 4 touchdowns, all of them were 60-plus yard runs. Just excellent. He's going to be the reason that Philadelphia has a chance to go to the Super Bowl and win it all. He is carrying the load. This offensive line has really helped him out. Just great runs nonstop. Giants fans, losers. All right. I think it's time, man. It's been about a week since we've been down here. The always terrifying and scary Soren's Alley. Sauce Boss, how you doing, buddy?
Great, guys. Like I said, we are in week 2 of by Soren's Alley, and this is going to be a good one this week. Just this past weekend, I went to David Buster's with Corey at Food and Fire, which is a great place to have some food because we actually went to David Buster's first, but it was really packed actually on a nice
Couldn't get a
Saturday
drink.
evening.
Packed barn at the Busters.
Yeah.
What-
We couldn't
Packed
eat there,
barn.
but however, we went to Food and Fire that was next door.
Shout out to them.
And
Good food, good drinks.
Their
Good
barbecue,
fire.
their barbecue chicken was very good. So
Good pit.
I always appreciate that.
Soren, when you go to Dave & Buster's, do you usually play the games?
Yeah, like
Yeah, what's your favorite game to play, Soren?
it has to be the deal or no deal, obviously.
Oh, good
yeah.
game. Deal or no deal is a good game.
It's almost like slots, Soren.
It's like
Yeah,
it's gambling
yeah.
for children, basically.
Yeah, you're right about that. But I actually got enough tickets from the last couple of times I went to David Buster's, and I got myself a plush Pikachu.
There you go, Soren.
There it is.
So I'm very happy about that. And I also I think got I also got a David Buster's shot glass.
Cool.
Well, with a nice little pen.
Disclaimer: Soren is of the age of 21.
Yes, he
Yes.
is.
I am of the age to drink, so
Soren
good.
likes to indulge
We're all
in
good.
an alcoholic beverage every once in a while, an adult beverage, if you will.
now going to the sports side of things, I would say the Eagles did get the win, which was a tight one. But like I said, I basically had the whole apartment to myself this weekend, and it was awesome because I was able to watch the game, maybe have a few brewskis, maybe a couple of beers, and then things were fun. And like I said, and good time. And like I said, the offense is what it's going to be. And the defense is pretty good for the most part. Locking up in clutch moments, as they do. But I really want the Eagles to be in the Super Bowl. And that I can't stand. I'm so sick and tired of people listening about Patrick Mahomes. He is got to be the most overhyped quarterback in NFL history. Not even to Tom Brady either. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous that, he's being talked about way too much, and he's not even going to be as good as Tom Brady is.
Oh, well, I don't know if we can say all that.
What?
Patrick Mahomes is not good, Cameron.
I mean,
That's
Did
insane.
did you not just see what he did?
That last throw, that late throw, whatever, he's falling over.
Sorry.
Hey, actually, Jared Goff did it this weekend too. Jared Goff did in fact do it.
Soren.
Josh Allen has the one quarterback that has beaten Patrick Mahomes.
So is
May I
Jared
remind
Goff.
you?
Jared Goff is
And Tom
undefeated
Brady's
against
beating Patrick Mahomes,
You know who
too.
isn't? Jalen Hurts.
Well,
And
guess what?
I
It's
can't wait to watch that man lift. the
Listen,
Lombardi.
I would love to be
I cannot.
Jalen
Guess
Hurts.
what? It's actually going to happen.
Listen,
So-
I would love to
Soren,
be
I wanna see it.
Jalen Hurts.
Soren. I think you're failing to understand. He had his worst year, and he still threw for just about 4,000 yards and 26
No, I understand
touchdowns.
that.
Which, like any other quarterback, like that's a really good year, and that's considered a bad season for Patrick Mahomes, man.
No, and I understand that. That makes sense. It's
I mean,
it is what it is.
he's on his way to ring 4, 2 MVPs. Like, I don't think you can say he's overrated. Look, the way that
no, he always gets his calls though. It's so sick and tiring. I can't stand it.
But so,
He gets his
but,
way, whether
but-
he likes it or not.
Well, Soren, that's just how it is, man. Brady was the
It's
same.
stupid.
Brady was the same way, man.
It's stupid.
It is. I'm not look. I'm not arguing that it's not stupid. It's
It
annoying,
is.
and the way that he's always in the media, like it's just it is annoying. But I don't think because he gets calls and because the media focuses on him, you can say that he's overrated. I mean, he's gonna go down as the greatest quarterback in NFL history if he keeps up on this.
Can you
pace,
imagine
man.
if Tom Brady had legs?
Yeah,
Can you
he's
imagine if he could leave the pocket?
He's Tom Brady with legs and more arm talent.
Oh, man.
Like, look, I'm not saying it's not frustrating. It is so annoying.
Oh, I know.
No, it's really
Every other
frustrating.
commercials, Patrick Mahomes. Every time you turn on sports talk radio, I hate
everything.
I hate watching the what's it? I know it's on FS1, Mahomes Mountain. Like that pisses me off, man. But it's just like I don't know if because the media paints him the way they do, and just everything around him. Just because he's annoying doesn't mean he's overrated. That's the only argument we have.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
But besides that, the Leafs also do play on Tuesday, tonight actually against the Tampa Bay Lightning, which I think is going to be a pretty tough match, I would say, in retrospect. But like I said, the Leafs have been on a little bit of a winning streak, so I mean, we'll have to see what happens with that. But I also do want to mention something that has been said in our comments section in this video about some of the changes for the Lions coaching positions. Marty79278 said that Mark Barnell will be the next Lions offensive coordinator.
Mark Brunell.
Yeah. They're gonna look in house. I really don't want them to look in house. Just me being superstitious about going in house over the last couple of decades, but I don't know. I know there's been talks about the O-line coach, obviously Mark Burrell. He's not the O-line coach. I think he's the run game
He's a
coordinator.
QB coach, right?
QB coach, something. I know.
QB coach too. I think so. Yeah.
I mean, like his name has definitely been thrown around. I mean, they've been looking at I know. I can't think about it. There's like been 5 names thrown around. I don't know, Soren. I don't want to look at it. He's not going to be Ben Johnson.
Yeah. No,
It's,
I just wanted to draw the attention that someone made a comment out there, and I figured it'd get recognized, and maybe that might, change things a little bit for the Lions. But like I said, the Lions, I understand how you're feeling.
You're adding fuel to the fire
no,
right now,
Soren,
You're adding fuel to the fire.
stop.
You do
Soren,
not know how you're
Soren,
feeling.
Soren,
You do not know how it feels.
Cameron.
You were in high school when you saw them lift a trophy.
Cam.
My grandfather was waiting for the Cold War to start before the
Back to
Lions
the
were
Cold
last
War.
successful.
All right, I think
You
that's
do
it
not
for
get
me.
it. You do not
That's
get
it.
it. The only person who maybe gets it is John. That's the
All right.
only person who maybe
I
gets it.
appreciate it. Thank you, Soren. All right,
Yep.
let's leave Soren's alley immediately.
Not doing the scream.
Do the scream. Do the
Evacuation.
do the roar. I'm glad you added that scream though, because John and I universally agreed that we want to scream a little bit. I hate the Dodgers.
The floor's yours, guys.
JD, I'll let
Rip them
you-
apart.
yeah.
Rip them apart first, and I'll jump on top. This is ridiculous.
God,
No,
come
yeah,
on,
it's-
dude!
it's-
Like, come on! Like, are we serious? Oh my god, dude! I've been seeing memes about Roki Sasaki being Kevin Durant. Oh my god, it makes me so angry. Like, and like the thing is like you can't fault them. They're not doing anything wrong. They're not, the players and the organization are not doing anything wrong. They're breaking baseball. That's what they're doing with all this deferred money where they're still going to pay people, and they're millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars into the luxury tax, and they say we'll pay it. We don't care because we're a multi-billion-dollar organization. They win the World Series after a year where they bring in Ohtani, Yamamoto. They brought in, got hurt. Brought in Glasnow, got hurt. They'd Walker Buehler in a 5 ERA, and then he dominates in the postseason. They traded away Gavin Lux early this offseason. I'm like, Lux was a good player. I wonder why they did it, because they don't need him. He's their second baseman. They brought in the other Haas Young Kim. They're going to bring in the one for the Padres next. They just brought, I thought it was done with Roki too, dude. All offseason, they brought in Conforto, they brought in Kim, they brought in Blake Snell. Oh my God, Blake Snell is the groupie of the NL West. He's hopping from team to team. And again, you can't blame them when a team wins a World Series and they're winning 100 games every year. You can't blame them for wanting to join a good team and get a World Series ring.
But like I thought it would end with Roki. Like Roki was the big signing. All right, fine, they're done. And then just to add fuel and fire to make sure no other team can have a chance to even be in the same stratosphere, they bring in Tanner Scott, which is like the most meaningless signing for them. They have 2 starting rotations. Their starting rotation for to start the year is going to be Yamamoto, Glasnow, Snell, Ohtani, and Sasaki. Where's Bobby Miller? You know, they're gonna bring back Kershaw because he's a Hall of Famer. He's a franchise legend. They're gonna bring him back. Where's Dustin May? Where's Tony Gonsolin? Those are 4 quality freaking starters that aren't even in the rotation, dude. Like, what are we talking about? They're going to win 130 games every year. They're going to sweep themselves to the post. If they don't win, it's an embarrassment. That's the first thing. If they do not win the World Series, it is an embarrassment, man. Like, I'll keep repeating it. You can't blame the Dodgers for going out and signing the best players. That's a team's job. The Pirates don't do it. The Pirates cut people to not play bonus. I'm sorry, that's a low-hanging fruit, Jack. But, like, that's just how it is. Like, yeah, the goal, this is the way baseball is now. If you want to win, you got to start paying people. Or finding a way to pay people 10 years down the line $68 million each year. I think it's like the luxury tax goes up little by little. They're going to swan dive in. But at the end of this like 10-year contract for Ohtani, they're going to have at least 5 World Series to show for it. I think if they don't have 5, they're going to... I think if they don't win every year, they're going to consider it a failure. But if they don't have 5, you look at this era-end Dodgers baseball and say, wow, this was a failure.
I cannot wait for the congressional hearing when the Dodgers get exposed for money laundering.
Like there has to be something, dude. Something has to give. Look, as Phillies and Mets fans, John, our organizations have no problem spending money. They spend out of their behinds like there's no tomorrow. I mean, the Mets just gave Soto a $750 million contract, the largest in baseball, largest in North American sports history. It's just like, what the hell do we have to do? The Dodgers aren't going to lose. Arizona, they brought in Corbin Burns. I'm like, wow, that's a really good move. Like, that really bolsters up their rotation. That's not going to matter when the lineup's Ohtani, Freeman, and Betts every single game. And then Teoscar Hernandez is like your 6-hole hitter. You have Michael Conforto, who's like, hits 25 doubles, 20 homers every year. He's batting 9th. Like, it's not going to matter.
Well, John just took off his tie and is unbuttoning his shirt.
I was just about to say.
Let's loosen up a little bit, JD.
Yeah, I this is the thing that's annoying me because, like you just said, I was going to start with this: the Phillies and the Mets, right? Okay, so both of those teams can go and sign whoever they want, and they're going to pay the penalty money, and they're ridiculed by the media. Oh, this is ridiculous. They're buying to win teams. Even I can't stand the Yankees, and they never hear the end of it too. When they go out there and get players, it's like, oh, you're buying championships. Oh, the Dodgers are signing everyone. Oh, yes, they're doing it. Yes. Let's praise them for it. This has got to stop now. Like, I don't understand and especially with baseball, I don't think that the manager has. They probably have the least amount of influence in any of the major sports, in my opinion. Yes, in my opinion, because like if you have talent, you literally can roll a lineup out there with your eyes closed and it doesn't matter. You don't have to do anything. And especially with the pitching they have, like you said, they have 2 starting rotations. The bullpen is loaded with all-stars. Like they don't have a hole on this team. It's insane to even think about. And like I don't know, I feel they might become the most hated like team in probably all of history.
Dude, I think at this point they're on par for
worse than the Warriors.
I was gonna say the Warriors and the Chiefs at this point. Like they're apart from Cameron. Cameron loves the Chiefs at this point.
Yep.
But no, seriously.
Chiefs are a little different though. The
Chiefs are different because
they do it
of
the right way.
Yeah, but the same freaking way with the Warriors, man. Like they have $1 billion in deferred money. That should not
and
be
they get
a
praised
thing.
for it.
That should not be a thing. That cannot be a thing.
Investigated.
That seriously has to be a thing. Look, deferring money is always obviously Bobby Bonilla Day is always the biggest day in base. Like that's always like the biggest joke in baseball.
Not every contract though. This is absurd.
That's what I'm saying. Like Chris Davis's big contract with the Orioles, he's getting deferred money. Even like Scherzer's still getting paid from like his past contracts.
which is fine. Like, look, a couple $1 million here or there. Bro, there's no reason that there's a $700 million contract for a player and $68 million each season is deferred. And again, come 9 years from now, when Ohtani's 40 years old, the Dodgers are going to be screwed. Realistically, probably not, though, because they're going to bring in the next guys and keep deferring money. And when they trade guys away, the teams will eat the money. Like, it's so frustrating, man. Because it's no diss at the Dodgers, dude. If other teams did it, it would balance the playing field. But the Dodgers have all the cards stacked in their favor because they did it first. And like, if they keep winning, players are going to want to go to an organization that continues to win. It's gonna continue. It's only gonna get worse. I really hope it doesn't, but it's only gonna get worse.
No, I agree. It's gonna get worse. There has to be something they come up like they literally made a tax because Steve Cohen decided to spend all the money he wanted to spend. You got to come up with a penalty for this. You can't just let them do this. Like they're finding ways to loophole the rules, which I mean you can't fault them for because they're very smart and they're able to do that, like you said. But there's got to be some repercussions. Like this is insane. They're gonna go win the World Series this year, and if they don't, it's embarrassing because the players they have. And then next year, like what are they gonna go sign? I'm trying to think. Vlad Guerrero will be next. They'll find
I'm trying to
spot
think.
for him.
Next year, it's Vladito. It's Murakami from. I'm looking up now. Murakami from Japan. Who else is available? Because it's
whoever's out there, they'll get. It doesn't even matter anymore. It's ridiculous. And Tanner Scott, what do you need him for?
That's
you don't need the guy,
dude. That's what makes me so angry. They're gonna bring back Bellinger just for the joke of it. Edwin Diaz has an opt out, so he's probably gonna leave and go there.
Wouldn't doubt it at this point.
I'm looking at who's available. Kyle Tucker is gonna go there. He's only in Chicago for a year. Kodai Senga has an opt out. They're just gonna mooch, dude. Justin Verlander. No,
you know where he's going.
Justin Verlander's gonna go to the Dodgers next. After he's with them for 1 year. Like,
all right, I'm reading something right now. So Tanner Scott preferred destination was the Chicago Cubs. He wanted to go to the Cubs, but the Chicago was unwilling to go to the 4-year contract until the very last minute before he signed the contract with the Dodgers.
What a loser! First off, Cubs, you guys are losers for that. You're not willing to give one of the best lefty closers or lefty relievers in baseball a 4-year deal. It'd be different.
They waited to the last second.
It'd be different if it was like a blip year, but like he's proved like the last couple of seasons he's a really good reliever in multiple locations. If they don't win 112 games and sweep everyone in the world in the postseason, it's a failure. Like, you guys are losers. I'm so annoyed at this point, man. Like $1 billion in deferred money. How is that okay? How are the players okay with having that much money deferred? Bro, no. Like it's
probably not actually deferred.
There's some.
They just care about getting the World Series.
Well, again, there's
no way they're agreeing. There's no way they're agreeing to that. They'll be like, oh, all right, I'll take money. Like, I don't know. I feel there's certain players that aren't willing to do.
Magic Johnson's putting a gun to their head and telling them, you're going to take deferred money and you're going to like it. Like I have the ESPN report pulled up right now of all the people with deferred money. It's Mookie Betts, who's getting paid from 2033 to 35. Freddie Freeman is owed $57 million from 28 to 40. Will Smith is owed $50 million from 34 to 43. Teoscar Hernandez only $8.5 million across 9 years. But like, okay, the bulk of it is Ohtani's contract, and I understand that. I mean, he has his own gambling problems anyway. He should probably call that. He should probably use our disclaimer that we talked about earlier.
1-800-GAMBLER.
1-800-GAMBLER. Shohei, call it. It's just like it's so annoying, man. Look, when teams have success and build a dynasty, it's always easy to hate on them because wow, like this team, I'm so tired of seeing this team win. But there's a way about it, dude, and like this is just not the way. I'm mad that you said we should talk about the Dodgers. John. This is your fault.
Do you think that it's not like the MLB is going to step in and do anything
No,
about
dude.
this, right?
Rob Manfred.
No, because they love it. They love it. He
Rob
loves it.
Rob
Secretly,
Manfred,
he probably secretly owns them.
Yeah, Rob Manfred and his buck teeth, like his bars of soap that he calls teeth, like
Yeah, man fraud. It's
yeah,
his real
dude,
name.
he's a he's a loser, dude. He's a loser. He called the World Series trophy a piece of metal. Like, what a dweeb.
You need to take something out of the English's book. When they had all this issues with stuff with the Premier League, the English Parliament had to step in, and they've created a law that allows the government and Congress of Great Britain, love the guys over there on the pond, but the government at any moment can call for an official review and can look at any of the signings, where the money's going, like all that sort of stuff. So
It's going to offshore accounts or something. It's just actually going into like stocks of like the Dodgers owner, like whatever company he owns, like whoever like has partial shares. Like it's just like, hey, we're actually not paying you. We're just giving you shares of this company. I hate it, man. It really is ruining baseball.
Well, it's happening all over. You know, what happened to the days where there'd be like a surprise signing, like, and not for just buying a championship. Like those were the days where it'd be like.
The thing is, like, I understand, like, you're gonna have to go out and get superstars. Like, that's how you win.
Yeah,
that is how you win. That is how you win. You can't. It's very much you have to have some homegrown products, but you go out and win. Hey, who on the Dodgers is homegrown? Who's gonna get legitimate run besides like Will Smith? James Outman, who got sent down last year. They traded away Luxie, who was one of the Muncie's not even homegrown. He started elsewhere, but he really didn't break out until the Dodgers. So I'll give them Muncie. Like their entire first rotation, their second team of pitchers, who would be like arguably a top 5 rotation for any other team, will be coming out as long relievers who won't be used as long relievers because like Glass now and Snell and all them will go 6 innings anyway, so they don't need to throw an inning. Golly, I hate the. All right, let's move on because I don't want to be angry anymore. Let's make John happy. Notre Dame, Ohio State. Time to wrap this episode up. Monday predictions. Cam, stop being at the top of the board. You keep doing it every single time. Cam is the king. The three of us, the three on camera, in person, on top of the board, followed by JD and Big Z and Soren Tide at the bottom. Hopefully that shakes up a little bit as we got the college football national championship coming up this evening at 7:30. We will be going live for that game. So make sure to tune in the live stream kicking off at 7:30. But yeah, gonna be a great game. I'll kick us off for this week, trying to climb away up the ladder. JD, I'm riding with you. I'm riding hot. Notre Dame gonna pick up the W 17-14. Low scoring affair. Might be a snooze fest for most people, but for John, he's gonna be doing backflips if they can neutralize this Ohio State offense. Ohio State really hasn't faced a defense like this year. And now Ohio State does have the best ranked defense in football, but Notre Dame is this team has been truly one of a kind defensively, and have been balling out. And they really have, I wouldn't say nothing to lose, because obviously in the national championship, you do have something to lose. But all the pressure is on Ohio State. This is a team who, after last year, they went out and spent. They bring in Judkins. They bring in Howard. They bolster up the defense. They bring guys who probably could have went to the NFL draft. They bring them back. All the pressure's on them, man. And I mean, you see Day, he crumbles under pressure. Not so much this postseason. We saw it against Michigan.
Yeah, we did.
Can Notre Dame be like Michigan? And
Don't put those two in the boat.
but no, seriously, like, and Notre Dame, I don't know what it is, man. Maybe it's the way that they came back from the NIU loss and the way they've been very gritty throughout this postseason. They just feel like a team of destiny. And you got to ride with the gut, and I'm riding with the gut. Notre Dame Irish, 17-14. JD, your big pick. What do you got?
Yeah, I am extremely nervous for this game. Like we talked about last week, this is the first opportunity. Well, like to if they win, it would be my first championship in my life, so I won't know how to act at all. I'll probably blow up everyone's phones later tonight, hopefully. But I will be taking the Irish 28-27. I like how you mentioned the Michigan example, what they did to Ohio State. So on my other show, JD's Empire Sports Talk, I talked about how Marcus Freeman should have broke down that film, which I'm sure he did because he's a great coach and I'm a huge fan of him. Show that film to the team, especially on defense. That's the game plan you got to go in with. Because I think they're as physical. Like Michigan and Notre Dame have comparable defenses, both very physical. They can get to the quarterback. I think Notre Dame is better, like overall, like speed-wise and all that stuff. And then, like on offense, that's what I'm saying. That game, that on offense, Notre Dame can run the ball like Michigan can, but they can throw a lot better than Michigan was able to do this year. So that's something that's perfect film to show. I also feel in a game like this in the championship, I know the score I picked is a little high scoring, but I still think the defense, whatever defense can make that more explosive play, will win. And I think Notre Dame's been doing it all year. Will Howard is bound to make a mistake. He's been too perfect, I think, in the playoff. I think he's bound to throw a critical pick like Drew Aller did last week and sets up Notre Dame on a short field. Something's got to go their way, especially when you're an underdog. You have to have a huge special teams play, maybe a block kick, something. They're going to need one of those. I think they'll get it tonight, and that'll be the difference. And a big win, 28-27. I will be smiling probably until September.
Corey, what do you got for this one?
So sorry, JD. I got Ohio State 31-21. I
Fuel
think
to the fire, Corey.
I think it's going to be a close game. I think the way it's going to go is Ohio State will pull away late. I know you said Will Howard's been too perfect. I think he might throw an interception, but I think he'll be okay. Jeremiah Smith has balled out. I mean, Carnell Tate has showed up for a game or two, but Travion Henderson, I think he's going to be a problem tonight on the ground. He's also been acting as a receiver in 149 receiving yards. I think the Buckeyes are. I think the Buckeyes are hoisting the trophy this year. I think it's going to be a close game. I'm not saying Notre Dame doesn't have a chance. I think they're going to stay competitive, but I think Ohio State has the slight edge in this one.
Cam?
What a horrible week for Michigan sports. And then to top it off, you have a college football playoff championship between Notre Dame and Ohio State. Granted, some people might say that the Michigan-Notre Dame rivalry has been dead for a while, which, to be fair, I guess you could say that because I don't think they're playing until like what, JD? Probably like 2030 something. Probably a long time.
Yeah, they had a few years stretch like 5-6 years ago when they played a decent amount, but they haven't since.
Yeah. So I mean, realistically, there is no winning this week if you're a fan of Michigan football or Michigan sports in general. But I have this funny little button next to me that I've been waiting to use for a while. Can't spell without OSU. Give me Notre Dame. Give me Notre Dame 27-20. Ohio State loves to blow big games.
Oh my
There's
God.
anything that's gonna put a smile on my face is just watch those bums from Ohio blow it up. Especially you, Ryan Day. Give me Notre Dame.
I did not expect that.
Oh my God.
Soren.
JD, we'll clue you in after. Soren, who do you got for this one, buddy?
Oh.
Unexpected. But I think that Notre Dame is going to win this game 20-17. I think Riley Leonard is going to have a good performance. It's going to be a very tight game between the both of the defenses, but like I said, it's going to be a close game, and I just think Notre Dame has the edge based off of their offensive performance and maybe their defense clutching up in big-time moments. So I'm very excited to watch this game tonight.
Mitch Jeter for the dub. Wrap us up, Bigsy. What do you got?
So I got Ohio State 28-24.
Yeah.
I don't want it to happen, but they've been ripping their opponents apart, and I think they've played higher quality competition throughout the playoff than Notre Dame has. I think they'll win it on the ground. Notre Dame's secondary, even without Benjamin Morrison, very talented. I do hope Emeka Egbuka has a good game. Not too good, though, because I want to get him in the draft, hopefully. Yeah, Ohio State, I think we'll get it done and destroy Notre Dame's team of destiny.
All right. Team of Destiny for Biggs and Jack, or Biggs and Corey. Gonna be going down. As for the rest of us, let's go Irish. Let's have a night. Boys, we got anything else before we wrap it up?
Tune into the live stream
Live, 7:30 tonight.
right here on He Knows Ball.
Indeed. Cameron, anything you want to get out before we wrap it up?
No, dude. I think therapy is definitely in my near future. I don't know, dude. I'm really worried about Jared Goff's mental. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's gonna be a long offseason. It's gonna be a long time until April hits.
It'll be all right. Sure. Don't worry, you got the Tigers coming soon.
Yeah, no, Tigers are looking really good.
Spring training around the corner.
Yeah, I don't know. I was looking at other stuff. A lot of people were saying how like this past Lions season reminds them a lot of the '95 Red Wings season before they won the World Series, or not the World Series, the Stanley Cup. Don't really know a whole lot about that. Definitely going to do some digging. Maybe gaslight myself more into believing in the future. Go Lions, stuck with them since birth.
Blissful ignorance. Corey, you got anything before we wrap it up?
No, I think we're, like I said, tune into the live stream. It'll be a good game. I'm excited.
JD will not be present for the entirety of the live stream. We'll call him at a couple different points throughout the night to see how his mental state's going. Might resemble a little bit of Cameron. But JD, anything else before we wrap it up?
I thank God we're ending the show right now because I'm seeing certain things on Twitter that are getting me upset. So I'm trying to have a good day, and it's just more and more not making me happy right now. So very happy the show's ending because I'm about to go scream. My brother and my dad keep sending me stuff as well. So hopefully this isn't the road the Jets are taking, but it seems like they are. That's it. Let's have a good day.
All right, that's gonna do it for this edition of He Knows Ball. Make sure. Like, subscribe, notifications on Instagram. TikTok's still live. Make sure to tune in the live stream tonight. Corey to my right, Cam to my left. Soren in his alley. Deucers behind the cam. JD in Staten Island. I'm Vincent Goldschmidt. Stay ballin' scram.